Roxanne Meyer. Tell us more about yourself and your background.
Okay, I am a Milwaukee born and raised artist. I was an educator for the majority of my life. I worked for Milwaukee Public Schools. I was an art teacher. I eventually worked with a group of people to start my own school. It was a school that focused both on art but also on social justice. So I was also a teacher leader. So I spent the majority of my time teaching full-time and making art when I could. And in the last couple of years I retired, and so now I'm making art full-time. And so all of my experiences have informed the work that I do now.
What does it mean to you to have been selected as a featured member for the 2020 to 2021 series?
I've been a member of this gallery for a number of years, and I've been in a number of the membership shows. And I really, that's my favorite show is the membership show. To come in and kind of see so many different artists, both emerging artists and artists that have been around for a long time, all that work shown together and this kind of sense of equality to the work. So being a featured member is just kind of the icing on the cake to be recognized within that group.
What can you share about your art practice?
As I stated before, my art practice, when I was teaching, it was almost impossible to find time to make art, especially when I was both teaching and running the school. So the membership show was one of the few shows that I would actually exhibit, and it would give me reason to make work. But once I retired, it has become, the obsession that I had hoped it would become. When I was teaching, I was actually even wondering if I still had it in me. I was making samples for when I was teaching, but I wasn't doing a lot of art that was reflecting who I was and where I was in time and space. So, yeah.
You work almost exclusively with
encaustic
video, beeswax, and Damar resin.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more about why you are so drawn to this medium.
I've worked in many different media over the years, everything from sculpture to collage to drawing, painting. I tend to every couple of years switch media. And then when I started working in encaustic, I kind of found that I was able to incorporate almost everything. You look at some of the work and it has like a sculptural kind of element to it. And I constantly am able to learn new things. And I really like the idea of being challenged and constantly reinventing what I'm doing. I love the layers and the opacity where you can kind of you can kind of have some things that are kind of pushed back. There's just a fascination with that sense of being able to show layers and to be able to show the history of the work and the process within the work. As an artist and art teacher, process is everything. And if I can look at something and see the artist's kind of their hand in the work, that's the kind of work I'm drawn to as well.
Yeah. The body of work that you are exhibiting here is titled Conceal, Reveal. In your artist statement, you mentioned that his series grew out of the desire to give form to the uncertainty of the current political and cultural climate. Can you speak more to that statement?
During this time, I think most of us are caught between just being stagnant and kind of frozen and trying to figure out what's happening, and also this desire to kind of get things out and to get it in a healthy way. So I've been just making work like crazy and just kind of looking at what's happening to our country. It's a very difficult thing. I never wanted to believe that we were as prejudiced a country as we are. I mean, I knew it existed. I taught within it. I saw it every day. And then just looking at the pandemic and how that's affecting people, myself included. I went for quite a bit of time where I was very ill. I have asthma. That was early on, so I wasn't about to go to a doctor or a hospital. Some of the pieces that you see were really looking at the healing process and really kind of understanding both physically and mentally what stress and what what was happening was affecting me and the people that I love and the people that I care about.
What message do you want to share with the youth?
The message I want to share with the youth is what I've always wanted to share. One of the reasons that I started my own school is that I believe that the youth are underestimated, undervalued, and I really want for people to understand, both the youth and the adult population, that those voices are incredibly important. And if it's not art, there should be find something to share with the world, to have an opinion, become informed, share your opinion, because Lord knows we need the youth to help turn this around.
You have been a longtime supporter of WPCA. Why has WPCA been an important organization that you support?
I think for the same reason of what I just talked about. That was my reason I was drawn to this gallery to begin with. This gallery does a very good job at promoting established artists, but they're also growing the next generation, and that's hugely important. The youth, it is the next generation, and we need to find a way to help culture the intelligence and the creativity, and this gallery does a great job.
What was the name of the school you started?
Community High School. In fact, some of my people have gone through here, but one of the emphasis that we had was service learning and volunteering, and so we had a lot of our students doing work within the creative community. At that time, we had kids that were doing filmmaking. We had a very similar thing to what you're doing here. We were dealing with the most underserved population. Most of our students were special education, with very some pretty horrific background. The whole idea was we don't want you to wait until after you graduate to figure out what you want. Get out in the community now. And so I know we've had some students that have come through here as well.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.